guys, welcome to Sober Talk. It is Friday. Today is is it October 30th, day before Halloween, and tomorrow Halloween. Ah, sober Halloween. It is October, people. I've spent a couple Halloween sober. I've spent a few decades Halloween drunk off my butt. Jeff Graham. Jeff Graham, we're going to switch over to the Sober Talk Facebook page real quick and see who's there. Let's see, Josh Hijack here. What's up, Tom? Hey, Josh. Derek Wilson, howdy. Stevie Kemplin. Birdsong, Mindy, how you doing? So, hey, guys, welcome to Sober Talk. You're here because you want to stop drinking, you need to stop drinking, or perhaps you're just sober curious. Perhaps you have a spouse at home telling you gotta, it's the booze or us, one or the other. It's not the kids can't see you drunk anymore. This is really BS. You need to stop being drunk in front of the kids. For whatever the reason, I am glad you're here. And I have quit many a times. I've quit for 3 months. I've quit for 6 months. I've quit for a year. I even went 2 years once. And I got caught up in that vicious cycle. I'm good. I got this. I'm good. I've got this. And I start back again. And then I would stop when I hit that next rock bottom. The rock bottom would be saying something really embarrassing while intoxicated, or going to the hospital because heart issues. And they say, oh, yeah, you have alcohol induced cardiomyopathy, or you have pulmonary hypertension. All things that happen because of alcohol. So that's anyway. Regardless, I am glad you're here. And one thing that we're going to talk about tonight, our main speaker is going to be Carl, and we're going to talk about the promises. And being alcohol free is one thing, but being alcohol free and happy, well, that's a totally different story. So that's the skinny there. So let's go ahead and get to it. Let's call our first guest. Carl, we're going to have him on here in a little bit. Have a couple people prior to Carl, and let's check it out. Let's call my buddy Jeff. First one, we need to make sure that we are indeed that have the Bluetooth on and we are connected. We are. So here we go.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good, good. You're all back in town?
I'm back in town. I'm settled in. I had to miss one day of sober talk because, as you know, I was. I think you made a comment or someone that I was driving and I couldn't be on the road and do the show at the same time, and that concerns me. Next week I'm supposed to be out of town for 3 days, and I don't know how I'm going to be able to do sober talk, but I will figure it out.
The best of series.
The best of welcome the best of drunk talk. Oh, that's hilarious. So how you been? Everything good with you?
You know what it is? I wanted to. I'm glad you called me because I did something.
Uh-oh.
I got just under 9 months. I did go through AA. I do some other stuff as well. And like I've always said, the best program for anyone is the one that works for them. And
yes,
my thing, it's not just one thing. It's a little bit here, a little bit there. But I was asked to do a lead or a share. They call it a lead in AA, but where you kind of tell what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. So it's just kind of telling your story. And I got about a 2-week notice on it. And I'll tell you what, if anyone wants to take a good look in the mirror, do that, because it brought up stories that I'd forgotten about. I just kind of started taking notes of, when did I start drinking? What was my, and then all these stories. Oh crap, I forgot about that. Oh God, I forgot about that one. Oh, that was bad. And these things all came in. And have you ever given yours, Tom?
I have never given my what's it called? Some people call it testimony. Testimony. Yeah, I have never done that. And
well, it's an eye opening. The thing is that it almost you hear a lot in AA. Again, that's what my background's AA, so I keep referring to that. But the word honesty. If we're honest with ourselves, if we're honest, well, and my whole life has been a lie. Um, it's I lied to everyone about anything, and I'm still trying to break that habit. But I lied to myself a lot, and it wasn't until I did this thing that oh, and speaking of those kids that you thought were yours, no,
No.
they're not. I'm sorry, but I got to come clean. But no, it forced me to be honest with myself, and a lot of, and then even getting it down, telling the story, and I had to speak to it was via Zoom, but it's to a pretty good crowd, and even some friends that knew I was doing this and hadn't heard, and it was like filling my gut. Now it felt it it kind of sucked while I was doing it, but it felt great afterwards. I don't know, confession for the soul. You hear all those, I don't
Did
know,
you get?
but
Did you? Were you embarrassed? I mean, there's some things I want to take to my grave, man. I
I
don't.
used your name on some of them. I said, one story, my buddy Tom, and let me tell you what he did this
Put
one
it
time.
put it
And
over on
then,
me as a
yeah.
problem.
So, in fact, there's a few people that might be calling in a little later wanting to know where their money is.
That's funny.
But it was, yeah, it was. It was, and there's, I'm not going to lie to you, there were some things that, you're doing it to help yourself, but also to help someone else. So, you know, there's certain ones that I might not have gone into with the detail, but the biggest part when I've heard it before, when I hear someone else's story, it's like, oh man, that happened to someone else. I thought I was the only one. So you realize you're not the only stumbling idiot out there making these mistakes, and that was how I kind of wanted to approach it. Some of the stories are funny, but at the same time, they're pretty sad. Uh,
Yeah.
I guess they're funny only because I'm now in the process of fixing them. If I was
Right.
still in the same boat, they wouldn't be funny at all. This show, I love it because everyone's so open in the show and they tell, funny stories about themselves. But that's we, because we screwed up, it's given us a chance to become better. If that makes any sense.
No, no, no. And I want to interrupt for a second because
Yeah,
today I was on last night's show, and I think it was Donnie Durbin saying, a lot of people, you know, like, have you gotten a do you have a sponsee yet, or you just have a sponsor?
I have a sponsor, guy kind of helped me through
Mm-hmm.
through the steps, the 12 steps of AA, and he's kind of um, I thought it was going to be a best friend, and it really isn't. It's someone that's just they're not they aren't your best friend. If with this guy, I really like him, which is great, but it's
Right.
more he just making sure I'm doing everything right, and
But because here's why I ask. Here's why I ask.
yeah,
Because he says when you have sponsees, you get to rework. Heck, it might have been Carl Martin. Someone last night said when you have a sponsee, you get to rework the steps because you're helping someone else and you're trying to help them understand the steps, and you have to work the steps, which something I have the first real meeting in 105, 106 days Sunday with my sponsor here at my office, and
right.
and I've been kind of tiptoeing around, thinking, oh, sober talk is enough for me, and it's not for me what I need. I really I'm looking to see those benefits from those steps, but you were talking about sharing your story. When you share your story, it helps other
Yeah,
people. So, but go ahead.
you're right about that. When I told all this dirt to my sponsor, um, I thought I wrote it out. I checked my penmanship, my grammar, all these. I made complete sentences and all this stuff. And I finished, and I started to hand it in so he could grade it. And I, mark it. He goes, I don't want that. This is for you. So it was really, it's more of an
Oh,
exercise in self realization. But when you tell it to someone, it forces you to, get naked, and it is.
mm.
That's where the growth comes from. But it is someone you trust because
I usually
there's
don't
things
get
in there.
I usually don't get naked until I'm drunk, though. Just so you know.
Right, exactly. It's and I was uncomfortable with it, but we played some nice music and eased into it.
You're
But
awful.
it is really a bearing of the soul,
Hmm.
and when you do that, I don't know, you got to strip it down because otherwise I would deny stuff, and I don't know. This is all. It was my first time really doing this. It was new to me. I was dreading it for a couple weeks. I feel like I just gave birth when I finished. I was
Oh
exhausted.
wow.
mentally
felt like you gave
drained.
birth. Nice.
Yes, but it was really. I'm so glad I did it. And if anyone gets a chance, I mean, I was telling it to other people, but I I swear I was telling it to myself more than anything.
So,
Which is
how many people? And was it on like was it live? Was it a
yeah,
Zoom meeting or what was it?
yeah. This was it was a Zoom one. It's a there's a ton of groups out there, and if anyone that you can Google sobriety support online or sobriety support Zoom, and
Right.
you'll get there. You can put in your city, all these. You don't have to do. It's not just AA. There's support stuff all over the place,
Right.
and I've listened to some really lame ones that did nothing for me, and kind of pick and choose. And I found a couple that I really I feel safe. I trust them.
Yeah.
They're similar. It's where I'm comfortable, and those are the ones I kind of stick with. But the same thing with sober talk. I mean, I'm not trying to do a shameless plug of your show, but this is what I love this because it's real, and that's what I don't feel like I'm getting lectured when I'm here. Um,
Nice.
when other people share it, I catch myself nodding, going, "Oh, damn, that's me too. That's me too," and that's safety. That's why I love this so much.
Yeah, it's really, I when I first did this, we're on episode 45. Today's the 45th time that I've done this. Now there were a handful of times, and when I was out down at the beach on Hilton Head Island, where I didn't really keep them. I kind of deleted them because initially it was
Right.
just my laptop and the laptop, speaker. But it's fun, to see the people who've been sober, because we don't do the weekends, we just do it every night, who count on this. I mean, to some people, this show is their higher power, and I think that's fantastic. I mean, I love no matter what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm fretting, going out of town next week. Because I don't want to be the weekends and 3 days off during the week. I'll figure it out if I got to take gear with me to the hotel or whatever. But um, I think thanks
Well,
for the
this show
kind
this
words. I
show
love the
Tom for me.
hmm
So this show is accountability for me because
right.
what kills me sobriety wise is downtime, boredom, alone time. That's when I'm in trouble, and I can't be alone on a Friday night somewhere in front of a gas station or a liquor store and try to make a decision not to drink at that point. I got a plan, and it's like tonight. It's a Friday night, but I knew we were out doing stuff, but I was going to be home tonight, and it was like, okay, it's on my calendar. Tom's show is on tonight at 8 o'clock my time. I'm on it because that gives me something. I'm scheduled, and for at least the
Structure.
next hour, I'm not bored. Going, what am I going to do? What am
Right.
I? Should I
It's
drink? Should I not
total
drink?
structure, the accountability, and I need to. I love the structure. I really
Yeah.
wish I could afford to do sober talk at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. I
I
can't.
failed without structure. I failed so many friggin' times
Yeah,
without
same. Yeah,
structure,
same here.
and I just I can't and that's the support of this group and just leveling with you. I've known you before sober talk for years,
hmm
and even then I can't do it by myself. My record's over. I don't even know how many attempts. Um,
Oh, geez, I hope it sticks this time with me. I really, this. Come on. I mean, how desperate am I? Here I am, kind of a public
yeah,
figure. People know who I am, and I'm going. Oh, by the way, I'm a drunk, and I'm going to talk about it
yeah.
every night at 8 o'clock. You
But
know.
that's a I don't know why that works, but it does. It was me telling people that you know, woke up having pissed my pants, telling a share or some of those kind of things.
Yeah.
Really embarrassing stories. And that's not fun, but whatever reason, it worked, and
I still
I
think
don't know.
about.
I just it
I
was a new
still
one,
think
right?
about. I gotta remind people. You guys, this is Jeff, my dear friend, and and I remember when you told me the story initially. You weren't laughing. You
About
weren't
to cry.
okay. You weren't. Yeah, you were about to cry. And it was at the wedding reception that you went to, just as a guest, as your kids to go to. It wasn't like
Yeah,
you
well,
were.
one of my youngest sons, one of his best friends.
Yeah. So
It
you
was
were
their first dance,
there.
husband and wife.
Yeah, they had a first Their first wedding dance, their first dance as man and wife.
And you know that during that dance, that's when no one else is on the dance floor except for the bride and the groom.
Oh,
Quite a
and
romantic moment.
yeah,
Everyone's taking
the
pictures,
crowd, they're taking a pic- and here
and
this drunk. What are you, 6'8"? Jeff is a football
four,
player,
six, four,
but
six, four.
you're a huge ass guy, and uh, and he goes and he cuts in
On
and
with him,
with
not with
him.
her. You know why I thought it was
Oh,
funny? Because this buddy of mine, this
oh,
Tom Mabe guy,
oh,
he does these funny pranks, and I got an idea.
you
So
thought
yeah,
of
I blame you for that too. But yeah, that went over real well. That was a great
but
night. That was a
you said now did your kids go a while without talk? Were they mad at you for that?
um, that was right before I went into rehab, so that was last fall, and
Okay.
then I had my relapse at the Super Bowl weekend. But
Are
they
you
kind of they took turns. There was a couple of them that didn't speak to me after that one for about a month or two,
Oh
and then
wow.
they switched after I had my relapse, and the other two took over the don't speak to dad for 2 months. Um, but yeah, that night was, I thought I was funny and it was cute. Now, I just remember later being outside getting just a tongue lashing by my son, my wife. It was just bad. It was
Yeah,
just really bad.
I've had those. I've had those, and you got to remind yourself of those things. That's why people go back out and they drink. They forget about all the embarrassing things, all the rock bottoms. And rock bottoms, man, they come in all shapes and sizes and different levels of rock bottom. You could be.
Yeah.
I've had the worst of the worst rock bottoms. And
Well, the thing is with these, with you doing something to yourself in a rock bottom is one thing. I can deal with that but I can never take that memory away from my son.
yeah,
Um, I've had other ones with some of the other kids in some of my, great ventures, but those are things that I can never. I can only try to dilute them over time with good stuff,
right.
but they're never going away. I mean, that's the buzz that I got. Sure as hell went away that night, but I've got every time I look at my son, I know that he's inside going, "Yeah, Dad, it's great to see you," but I will always remember how you completely embarrassed me and but all that. And it's that it sucks that it happened, but I pray I never forget it because I don't ever. If I forget it, it could happen again. I pray to God I don't forget how much that sucked and how much I hurt him because um, and telling it right now and laughing about it is funny because I'm having a good day, but it also reinforces it in my memory. Just even talking about it right now, and as I'm sitting here laughing about it with you, I'm looking off in space, just picturing. I just got the memory again of him just like, what the hell, just chewing my ass out, and I
Yeah.
can never take that away.
Let me address a comment here. This is Randy Leach. He says, so happy for the people that make the phone calls. They're sober, but why don't you talk to somebody that needs help? And Randy said, I really need help with alcoholism. Randy, give me your number. You're the people that, you know, and people like Randy, when they hear people like Jeff, who has, what are you, at 9 months sober now?
Yeah, just almost, yeah.
It's encouraging to hear Jeff's story. So, Randy, dude, give me your number. Love to talk with you. Yeah, yeah,
But
don't,
the only thing is I'm talking to you because I still need help. I mean, there's
yeah.
maybe to a different degree, and I know what you're saying, and that's the beauty of it. And that's where God, that's huge to do that. But
Yeah,
I
we're
love it.
everyone. Yeah, we're not here. Even though I'm cutting up and laughing, he says, um, sorry, Tom, but you get these phone callers that do nothing but talk about themselves. It's like going to an AA meeting. I'm ready to give up again. Talk to somebody that really needs help, not somebody that's already been helped. Oh yeah,
and I understand that. I
yeah,
understand that.
yeah,
The only thing I'm saying is look at maybe there's hope because that's what I hear when I talk to people that are, doing have a year or two. Like maybe, hey, maybe I can make it. I don't know. I know what they're saying. It's a great point.
Well, someone get Randy's number and email it sobertalklive@gmail.com. Sobertalklive@gmail.com. I will get the number. I will call Randy and love to speak with him. And Randy, get into our group. Get in our group. We have a lot of people in the private group who are struggling just like you. Everyone's struggling, brother, and they can help you. They can give you support, and we'll give you support here. Love to give you a buzz. So
I'll be listening.
yeah, so hopefully he will reach out, and it's good that I'm finally, Jeff, learning to go back and forth from Tom Mabe comedy to the page and then the sober talk, because sometimes I just don't see all the. But I've learned how to toggle back and forth from both pages. So,
Right.
well, man, well, congrats on your big share that you had. It sounds like it did it go well. Did you crush it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I mean, it's we'll see, but it's over.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
I've had it. Early on when I went to AA years and years and years ago, I spoke, but to be honest, I wasn't ready. I was drinking. I go home and I went to an AA meeting, go home and drink. I just wasn't ready. And um, I belong to this. I'm over 90 days into this AA
That's awesome.
Zoom group. I'm 105 days sober, 106 days, but this Zoom group thing I do, the early worms, I haven't spoken there yet because it's so early. It's 7 a.m. and I'm just having my coffee and I'm just listening. But well, cool. Well, all right, Jeffrey. Well, thanks for taking the call. And if anybody could get our buddy's number there, I would love to talk to Randy. There you go,
That'd be
Randy.
God look.
Yeah, he really seems like he could use a. I'm just gonna message him here on Facebook and ask him your number, and you can reply to that, Randy, and I'll give you a buzz. All right, all
That'd
right,
be great. All
cool.
right, buddy. Hey, have a great weekend. I'll be listening. Okay.
All right, thanks, brother. We'll see you, Jeff.
See you, Tom. Take care.
That was our buddy. That was Jeff Graham. He's a regular on the show. We have Carl Martin coming up here in a little bit. Hopefully, we'll have Randy coming up too. Right now, let's call Bill Gentry. Let's give him a buzz and see how he's doing.
Hello.
Hey, Bill, Tom Mabe with Sober Talk. How are you?
Oh, not too bad.
So, have you not spoken before in other shows?
Nope, nope. I just follow you on Facebook. About all I've ever done.
Okay, gotcha.
So,
So, are you struggling with right now with alcoholism or addiction, or are you been sober for a while, or what's your story?
oh, I've been sober for a long time. That's
Oh,
what. Uh, well, I've always. How do you? It's hard to explain. I've always drunk a little, but
hmm
in 2009, I was taking care of some elderly parents, and they were being quite difficult. Basically, 70-year-old turned into 5-year-olds, and we were having a real rough time. And I just started drinking more and more and more. And then in 2009, about middle of it, I said, you know what, this is it. I gotta quit. So I threw all my alcohol away, and I tried concentrating on everything to quit.
hmm
And I did for 6 months. I didn't have a bit of problem. Then actually what started it was my nephew got killed in a car accident, and he had stopped after work and had a couple, and I said, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm finished.
Uh,
So I threw all my alcohol away. And for the next 6, 7 months, I thought, yeah, this is easy. And then I went to my high school class reunion, 40th,
oh,
and everybody there was drinking, and they kept, have one, Bill. And nope, I'm done. I quit. JD got killed in a car accident. I said, I'm not going to drink. And then I don't know, it was probably halfway through the night. Somebody handed me a glass of wine. I wasn't even thinking, and
uh,
I started drinking it. And the next thing I know, I was locked up in a cell. I had
oh
went out,
my.
got my truck to drive home. I didn't think I would had that much, but I got arrested, and I spent the night in jail. Got home the next morning and had to look into the eyes of my 12-year-old granddaughter, and I said, "That's it. I can't do this no more." She was so ashamed of me, and I was so ashamed of myself, and I've never touched it since.
Did you
I
get
go to
any kind?
restaurants and
Did you get
go ahead.
treatment? Did you get treatment? Did you find God? Did you?
I had to go. I had to go through all these classes, and
Okay.
I told the guy at the classes, I said, I never considered myself an alcoholic. I said, I just never did. I said, I always thought I could control it. And after I'd gotten arrested, my wife said, well, Bill, she said, you know, you used to go out in the garage, and I know you were drinking 4 and 5. You'd come in, you were drunk. You couldn't, you know, you couldn't argue with you.
Oh, God, the
And
garage drinking. God, I'm sorry. I would always be cleaning out the garage so I could drink beer out there.
Yep.
Jeez Louise.
Yep. I'd be cleaning the garage out or working on a little project or
Oh, yeah.
I'd go out. We had a little hobby farm in Illinois at the time, and I would go out and I would we baled hay, and I was baling hay every 2 weeks, whether it needed it or not.
Oh, wow.
Basically, so I could go out and drink. I know that's the reason. And
Did you not put it together at the time? Did you know that?
No.
You didn't know you were a closet alcoholic. You just thought
no. All I was is I just figured I was going out and having a good time, working out in the field, drinking. You know,
Wow.
I would get up in the morning. I would go to my job. I did a fantastic job. They loved me there. I was a maintenance man. Didn't have a bit of problem. Minute I got out of my truck at home, I would walk straight into the garage, open one up, and that was it. I would be drinking till about 7:30, 8 o'clock that night, sometimes 9:30, working outside. If I had to mow the yard, I'd mow the yard, and it'd take me about 3 times longer because it's hard to ride a lawnmower on 2 acres in a straight line when you're drunk, and you don't think a thing about it.
Wow.
So, but no, the day I had to look my granddaughter in the eye, that gave me every bit of the strength I've ever needed.
Tell me about these classes. I'm more curious about the classes you took. Did you get anything out of classes, or was it just like driving school? Like, oh yeah, I can't speed again. You know, usually you get a speeding ticket, and right where you.
Well, they talked to us about the symptoms, some of the excuses people make,
right,
and I hit on every one of them. I mean, I did. They would talk about things drinkers would do, and yep, I did them. I did them all. You know,
wow.
I mean, I could hide it with the best of them, but until you've lost your license for 6 months and you've had to have your wife ferry you around, or your wife ferry you around wherever you want to go, or you've drunk with that, or you drove with that interlock device, you just don't know how bad it is. And I did. But I'm serious. My wife, she could have divorced me 30 times over. But she told me, she said, Bill, I knew, you know, one day you would kick it. So, and I did. I'm going on 10 years right now.
And you don't do any steps. You don't have a therapist you discuss. Have you had the craving at all for alcohol? Are you happy with?
Every once in a while I'll go out to a restaurant and I'll have certain foods will remind me of it. You know,
right?
If you drink or if we go to a Mexican restaurant and we have tacos or something like that, I'd always have a couple beers when I was eating tacos or something, and so now instead of getting tacos, I get something else. And we don't have any in the house. There will not be any in the house. But we go out to restaurants with people, and my son-in-law is not afraid. You know, my daughter won't. But they'll, you know, do you mind if we have a beer?
Oh, I get that a lot too.
Care.
I get that a lot too. Hey,
yeah,
we have I need to cut you short, and I'll tell you why I got to cut you short. Were you listening before I called you?
No, I could. That's why I said I can't get your podcast on my phone because we live out in the sticks. You know, in 20 acres, we're trying like heck to get Verizon to get a tower close to us so we can get the podcasts and stuff. But they just
we have someone who really needs to talk, and they're struggling. They fell off the wagon, and I need to. You seem to be safe in a good place and everything. I'd love to talk with you again on another episode, but I got to call this guy now. Why?
Oh, I understand. You tell them that I'm praying for all of them.
All right.
Because, you know, church and my wife and my granddaughter is what saved me. And that's where I kind of have my strength. So just tell them to find something that they can use as
a higher power. Yeah, a higher power. Something
Yep.
something. Yeah. All right, but thank you, Bill Gentry. We'll
All
talk to
right.
you
Well,
soon.
thanks for calling.
All right, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, we're going to give Randy a call here. This is Sober Talk episode 45. It's Friday night, October 30th, 2020. And, let's see. Randy, if you're around, go and pick up.
Hello?
Hey, Randy, Tom Mabe, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Tom. How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing all right. It sounds like you're struggling a little bit. What's happening?
Just a little bit. Um, it's just drinking. It's a problem.
Oh, yes. I was reading a little bit about you. You said
there's-
you've lost your mother and you've gone through 2 girlfriends and
Yes, sir.
yeah.
I've had a lot of losses in my life, and I started drinking at a pretty young age in high school, like a lot of people did.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't notice that it was a problem. Other people did. I just want other people to get help. I want to get help. But there's one thing I don't understand is I was doing great. 2
How long?
years sober,
2 years sober, okay.
and everything was going fine. Had a good job. I lost my job. And once I lost my job, I was 58. Got fired. First time in my life ever getting fired. Driving home from work, pulled into, just like you said the other night, you pass that one store that you see,
Mm-hmm.
that you know you're going to go into and get that beer,
Mm-hmm.
get that single for the ride home. And it turned into a 4-pack, and then it turned into an 8-pack, turned into a 12-pack. And now I can't stop anymore. And I'm getting these stupid residual checks from the government.
Mm-hmm.
They're only add up to $200 and something a week, which is nothing, but it's enough to cover my beer money. And I'm not eating.
Yeah. So
That's
what,
not helping either.
Did you drink? Did you pull into the store after you got fired, or did you get drunk?
I left the job. When I got fired, I argued with the people about the fact that I argued with the people. I'm not going to go into that.
Gotcha.
I argued with them, and then went straight, heading for my home, and kept passing convenience stores saying, that's where I used to go get those beers. And I pulled in and got one. And it just never stopped from there. It's been July 9th that I picked up the first beer in 4 or 5 years. For 2 years.
2 years. So
yeah, because I'm drunk right now, so you're going to have to...
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. That's fine. So
I'm drinking. I'm sorry.
No, that's why, we're going to change the show to, on Friday nights, we're going to call it Drunk Talk as opposed to Sober Talk.
Well, no, I want to, no, that's why I keep searching on for your show because I want help.
Well, so here's what I would, here's why. So first of all, because first of all, Bree Colfax, I see your comment. I will address that in a little bit. Yes, that's definitely a topic, and it kind of applies to what we're doing right now with you, sir. I went 2 years. It sounds to me that you might have been a dry drunk, that you never got help. You just quit on your own. Is that the case?
Yes, sir. No, the courts used to make me go to, you know what I mean? If you get pulled over, guess what? You got to go to court. Guess what? The court tells you have to go to this class. Guess what? I go to that class because I'm made to go there.
Yeah, but you're made to go. You've never gone on your own and go, hey, you know what? I'm going to go detox.
Exactly, because because every time I went, it was, uh, I don't want to hear about this. I want to leave here and drink because these people are not talking. They're 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 talking about something that I want to do.
Oh
They're
yeah, I always
they're
left.
actually
I left
talking
AA meetings wanting to drink, and most of the time I did.
because they were talking about things that made me enjoy my drinking. Oh, I did this. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember doing that. That was fun. Oh yeah, what a mistake though, right? But sometimes alcoholics don't know this.
Yeah.
People don't understand if they're not an alcoholic. They don't understand that we can't help ourselves. I mean, I don't want to drink. I really don't want to drink. I hate it. It fucking it is destroying my life.
No. I know.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
dude.
sorry.
No, this is why we love the shares. We love hearing people who have 9 months. We love people who and have you joined our support group, our private group on the page?
No, sir, I have
You
not.
get a Bev or a Natalie or any of these, Carl, and these folks can, help you one on one, help you out, and really. But man,
I have noticed since the last few nights that I've been watching this page or getting on, people are commenting and trying to help me, and I really appreciate that. It does
but
help.
you have to really want it. It's like when you're forced to go to,
Uh,
drunk
I
camp.
really do want it. I really do want it, but it's kind of hard when you're all alone. You don't have anybody around you whatsoever.
Oh no, I mean,
See,
talk to. I
do
mean, David.
you have? No, I have family, but they've all given up on me. My kids have blocked my phone number because of what a jerk I am
Oh yeah, no, I
when
get that.
when I drink. No, it's not that I'm not trying to be a jerk.
No,
It's
no,
just
I
that
get it. No, I get it. I'm just saying, I've been there.
I'm just being real. When I drink, I talk too much and say way too much because that's what's on my mind at the moment. And then I realize later, well, you could have been a little bit more conservative about the way you talked to them just now, but you weren't because you were drunk. And then I get mad at myself again because I'm drunk. And then, Tom, have you ever been in the condition where you have drank so much that you wake up and unless you drink again, you're not going to feel okay?
Yeah, about 9 years of that. It's called. I would use the joke. I've been having the hair
Have
of the
you?
dog for 9 years.
So you understand that. Okay.
Yeah, and then it's like, what?
Well,
Have you
that's
already
where
been
I'm at
drinking?
right
Yeah,
now.
that's where you're at now. Okay, okay.
That's where I'm at right now. It's been July 9th is the day I started drinking again, and it's steadily increased. And I don't want it, but I don't know how to stop it. You, if you understand what I mean, because I'm gonna have to suffer. I almost feel like I have to be put into a place where somebody watches me.
Well,
You know what I mean?
maybe that's what you need. If you have to get up in the morning and drink, and I don't think that
Oh no, I go to the store at night and make sure that I rent a room in the back of the house, and so I have a little refrigerator back there, and I put a 12-pack in there every night before I go to bed. That way, if I wake up 3 o'clock in the morning, I know I have a beer, and I can go drink a beer, have a cigarette, and sit out on the back porch and pray to God that I don't stop drinking. And that's kind of ridiculous. It's insanity, and it's what I've been described to. What I'm doing is insanity.
No, it is, and everything you're saying, myself and everyone, there's 100 people watching right now there who have I would say 75% of them been exactly where you're at, and we're gonna have Carl on after you, and he's gonna touch on this. He's making comments right now. He says that the most important thing a fellow alcoholic can do is to speak with a sober fellow alcoholic. Period. And you have to detox. Do you have any kind of
Oh,
insurance? Can you go to a detox facility for 7 days, 10 days, and have them wean
uh,
you off?
I'm trying. No. There's a place in Bartow, Florida here that I can probably go to, but at this time, I don't want to go there because I'm not going to go into a place where I have to wear a mask all day long. I'm
No,
I'm I'm against
that's
the
your
mask thing.
alcoholic brain talking.
Yeah, that.
That's true. That's your
Well,
alcoholic
no,
brain.
no, 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 sir. I'm
Okay.
sorry, but
Okay.
I would not have wear. No, um, I'm just. I'm not a master.
So have you called
No,
them? Have you
no.
called them and see once you've been tested? Because I think once you go in a facility, they're going to test you to make sure that you
Oh
don't.
no, the VA tests the VA tests me every time I go in there. They have to. I can't go into the VA
So
office
you're
without
a
them
veteran.
testing
So
me.
you have incredible resources under your belt
But I've been denied my resources from the Veterans Administration.
because
It's don't I don't know. I don't know.
Michelle Hutton
They
says, "Where is?"
say
They're saying Michelle Hutton is saying, "Where is he? He is in a crisis and needs us. He needs help. Are you willing to? I mean, 'cause I feel like you need to get. You definitely need medical help. You need to go to the
I do
emergency
this
room.
all the time, Tom. No,
How long have you been drinking?
I get this I get this messed up. I go to the hospital and they put me in a classroom for a few days and then they say, "Well, you lived," and they send me back home. I don't know why I'm still alive today because I should not be living. I can go 20 days doing nothing but drinking beer and not eating food
Michelle Hutton says
until
that
they
she'll
put me,
help you.
and then they put me in the hospital until they finally put me in the hospital and say, "You know what? You're about to die here, dude."
What? And so
I
let me.
don't know. I don't know what to do.
Would you be willing to speak
I'm
to another vet was an alcoholic and drug addict?
yes, yeah. I would be willing to do
Listen.
anything to help me.
Someone in our community right now, Michelle Hutton, and she's a veteran. She's done all kinds of. She and I have spoken offline. We've spoken on the phone, not on the show, but and she has one hell of a story, and I think her being a vet could be a good resource for you to you need help, Randy. You got to get something, and it seems like the more I suggest, the more you push
I
back.
know that you know this. I know that you know this, Tom. I mean, I've, you, we've been. I mean, for a couple of years now, you've mentioned my name on your posts, your videos and stuff, and you know, because it's okay. I'll be okay.
Well, you need help. Can you stick around and watch the rest of the show? And
I'm gonna try.
Michelle Hutton's going to reach out to you and listen to Carl. Stick around.
Well,
Can
give
I?
her my number. I
Okay.
will answer the phone only if it's. I mean, I will answer it, but if it's a car ad or something. Somebody told me that I need to redo my insurance on my car. I'm not gonna
No,
talk
no.
to them. I'm gonna hang up.
This is Michelle. I'm sending her your number right now because I think you need. You said you've done this. You'll stop drinking one day, and I'm
I
afraid some
really,
when you're dead.
dude,
Yeah.
dude, I really appreciate what you're doing for people.
I want to do something for you tonight,
Okay.
man. I want you to get
Well,
help tonight.
I know you are, or you wouldn't be talking to me on the phone right now. And I know I want to help, or I wouldn't be talking to
Yeah,
you on the phone right now.
that's true. That's true. You're here on the
Um,
phone with me.
even though I'm still drinking and I have some more beers in the refrigerator, and we'll probably drink them while I'm talking to somebody because like an idiot. I don't want to waste them. I can't pour them out.
Yeah, they call that alcohol abuse when you pour beer out, right? I get it,
Yes,
man.
yes, sir.
Yeah, I have.
No,
But
I
how about
understand
how
you
about
do.
tomorrow? I mean, tomorrow's Saturday is Halloween. Ah, man,
I'm working on it, brother.
well, I think
I'm
Michelle,
really
being a
working on it.
vet and also an alcoholic,
I'm
and
really working on it, man. I appreciate your show because
I just really want
I
to.
wouldn't.
Yeah, about
Yeah,
this is
you saved me one beer already tonight.
well, geez, well, I want to talk with. I'm not. I don't. We're off the air
No,
Saturday and
you don't
Sunday.
need to. No, I
I
understand.
want
You
to
need to.
talk with you though, but
You have other callers.
well, no,
You have other callers.
Carl was my main caller. I was pushing him back to 8:35, and but I saw this is an emergency, and this is we want to
Thank
help
you.
you, and
It's
this
not an emergency.
well, yeah, it
I'm just
is.
Randy.
Well,
I'm just Randy.
Randy? We just changed your name to emergency. Randy.
We
Oh, geez.
Randy Mantooth
Yeah, Randy.
from
Well,
Emergency. Randolph.
well,
Randolph Mantooth.
and
Remember that show?
we're gonna call you Rehab Randy. We're gonna get you checked in and call you Rehab Randy. Okay.
Rehab Randy.
And then it has a
Wow,
ring
what a
to it.
cool name.
Everyone referred to Randy as
Thanks,
Rehab Randy
Tom.
because we're not going to give up on you until you're in some kind of facility. And
I
B,
appreciate that, Tom.
Michelle's going to call you probably when we hang up here. I've already sent
Okay,
her your
man.
number.
I really
And
appreciate your help.
well, I
I
haven't
do
done much. I'm
appreciate your
just
help.
listening. I can't give any
Hey,
advice except for any medical advice,
hey,
brother.
you
Yes,
made
sir.
me think about a lot of things, sir. Okay?
Yeah. Well,
You made me think about a lot of things, and you gave
watch
me
this.
hope.
I want you to hear what Carl has to say. Carl's going to come up next.
As soon as I hang up, I'm gonna go back to the video on my phone here
Yeah, and Michelle,
and
hold
watch.
off on calling Randy till like
So
after
this
9
is
o'clock.
live. This is live, right?
This is live. Yeah, this is live right now, dude.
Okay.
And so this Sober Talk Live, and we're going to call Carl right now. Michelle's going to hold off for a second so you can listen to. I need you so you can listen to Carl. Carl is.
Okay, I definitely want to do that,
All
sir.
right. Talk to you soon. Thank you so much, Randy.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
All right.
I'll
Bye-bye.
talk to you later. Bye.
I don't know what to say, guys. I don't know. I can't give advice. I'm just some dude 106 days in. But he needs something, right? And I figure if sometimes you push them too hard, they'll push back. Like I suggested the VA detox, and that's why I think Michelle, maybe she'll call and yeah, Bev Hollins, where is he located? Well, he's in Florida, it sounds like, and he's a veteran. He doesn't want to go to a detox facility where he has to wear a mask. He's not a masker, is what he said, and I don't know. I don't know how to, you know, uh, to reply to even. I don't know. I just um, I don't know. So let's call Carl and see what Carl says. And Carl, I am so sorry that we have Carl was going to be our main speaker tonight, but we just had some emergencies happen. So.
Hello, it's Carl.
Hey, Carl, Tom Mabe. I'm sorry about that. You heard we had that emergency phone call and we ate into your time, so we might want to save you.
Man, I'm sorry. Who are you trying to reach?
It's Tom. What do you think about Randy?
Tom,
Did you hear Randy talk? Did you hear any of that?
I absolutely heard every bit of it, Tom. And man, I hope he gets some help here. He's right at that point where he can he's open to help. Unfortunately, he's probably more open to help when he has been drinking than when he is not. But now it sounds like he's drinking all day long, and so and gosh, man, I was there. Hey, and while I was listening to that, and we won't go into some of the things that I had talked about before that I might possibly talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to tell Randy or anybody else that might listen to this. Now, I'm no longer a huge AA fan. I mean, I love AA because AA saved my life at my first point in trying to get sober. I remember that I made my plans out that night. I said, I was obviously drinking, and I said, all right, there's a 12 o'clock meeting tomorrow down at XYZ City, and I'm going to stay sober. That's how bad it was. It was that point in life, of drinking life, that I refused to drink that morning. I said, I can get up and I can walk outside, I'll shower, and I'll show up at this meeting an hour early. And I'll drive, and drove down. Of course, I drove around the meeting building 4 or 5 times, and even though I was an hour early, I was 10 minutes late going in because I wanted to see who all was going in, But I swear to goodness, Tom, that was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Because at this time, and we're talking about 1984, 85, there wasn't that much information on the internet.
Right.
Or 1995, I guess.
Yeah, 95. There wasn't an internet in 85.
Yeah, no, well, there was, but in 95, 96, and so I didn't tell anybody I was going. I was just planning a straight. I said, "Dadgummit, Carl, man, I got to do something."
Yeah.
I had gone through the psychologist, and I'm depressed, and all the bull stuff that goes with that, and you're not telling anybody really how much you're drinking, and yeah, I have a few every now and then. But that first meeting, and I go in, and finally go in and sit, as I've said before, right next to the door so I can escape real quickly if this doesn't go my way. But that first meeting, I heard for the first time in my life that I was not the only one that was going through or had gone through what I was going through. And Tom, no kidding, they turned the meeting, and there were probably 40, 50 people in there. And it was it all became about me, but I did not know that they were, the girl leading the meeting said, "Hey guys, you know what? Today might be a great day for a first step." And I said, "God, I hit it just right. A first step." I didn't know that that's what they did when you go in. And so there was no judgment. There was no, and they read that. We went through the first step, and everybody talked about how much happier they were, and all these other things. And
do you think that's true? Do you think that's true? You and I were talking offline earlier about, is that BS, or do you think when you follow what you call the promises or whatever, do you think there's a certain level of they talk about that magic moment you get when you're sober and when you work the steps and such?
There's absolutely no doubt in my mind, in my experience, that the promises do not come true. And for me, man, I held on to those.
You're saying they don't come true, or they do?
No, they do come true.
Okay.
They absolutely, and not exactly in the order that they're written. The most important one to me was when I read it. Well, the first one was, "We will know peace," and I said, "No way." In fact, when I first read them, I said, "No way." Promise number one, Tom, is we're going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. Because I didn't want to know my old freedom, and I didn't want to know my old happiness. I wanted something new that I could depend on to help me change and experience a new brain, a new life. And I believed that promise, and I believed it because I heard the other people talking about how their lives had become so much better, and that they didn't even really recognize who they were at the time that they were drinking. They remember drinking, by all means, but their new lives had changed. And I mentioned, I think I made a post last night that I did get a resentment that first meeting. I go in and all these people happy and hugging and clapping, and I'm saying this is all bullshit. Oh, excuse me.
That's all right.
This is
Randy
all-
said the same thing. He said, "Why are you interview people who need help, and why are you laughing and cutting up?"
Yeah, I said, "There's no way this." I said, "I can tell right now. I'm in here with a bunch of folks that hadn't drank very much."
And
And then you come to find out that, man, I had only gone down halfway down the marker of some of these people that had been in there, and I was easily convinced. Thank goodness a man came up to me after the meeting. I mean, I was too scared to talk to anybody else. He said, "Man, why don't you try to make it to the 6 o'clock meeting tonight?" I mean, I didn't share a word or anything. I was too scared, absolutely, to say anything or do anything except sit there, and they all knew that. And then I really got accepted.
so, wait,
and
someone, I
helped.
want to interrupt. So, it might be a good idea for him to explain what the promise is and where they come from for those who are not familiar with the 12 steps.
Yeah,
It's also important to
every
know that these promises are also known as the 9-step promises, which means they are a result of working the first 9 steps. That's Bob Banks.
exactly.
All right.
That's exactly right. And they do come true, and they start coming true even before then. When you get the more alcohol you get out of your system, and you really are, they really start coming true, Tom. That is from experience, my experience, and the experience that I have witnessed others go through. These promises are real, and it's when the brain begins to change and recourse itself, and it takes that time, and that's why they said, Carl, just, man, we got to do this one day at a time. It was weeks, and some of them had been sober for many, many years, and it was always, Carl, we have to do this one day at a time. All of us do, and that was so very important, man. But can you imagine for a person that had never really experienced sobriety and had gotten to the point to where I was then, to go into a meeting of a group of people and for the first time to hear somebody start telling what had happened to them and where they were today. And I believed them. Now, there was no troll activity going on in that room. I mean, that was real. And I said, there's just no way people could be this happy and sober. And man, does that change after time if you're willing to.
I'm right there. I mean, right now I got this. You could be insecure or cocky. And I'm either really insecure. I'm the most cocky ass person in the room. And I don't want to be either. I want to be right in the middle. I want to be confident and just be happy. I want to quit judging my happiness by things that I, obtain. The 4-slice toaster or the super duper TV with the 4K and the 6. Yeah, I want to quit trying to buy happiness, and that's one thing. I hear people talking about last night. When Donnie Durbin was talking about, he said, I had a lot of great stuff. He said, now I have nothing, and I'm happier than I've ever been. I'm like, how's that even possible?
It's incredible what you can be happy with or without so much of anything. You really, and that was the part too that I didn't really understand. But I was in such mental pain and non-understanding. Yeah, I was sitting back thinking I was the only one in the world that had this brain disorder, that malfunction, and but I knew alcohol was a major part of my problem, but I didn't realize it was the real problem. Uh, there's always underlying factors that cause each of us to drink or help each other to drink more and more. But the main reason that I was so unhappy and anxious and depressed was the alcohol. And when I found other people, just I mean, that's just a moment in memory and time that I will never ever forget.
Wow.
And you know, the third promise, Tom, and this is true, and I hope most people after 120 days, you will begin to really realize that word serenity. Man, I'm okay. I have a sense of well-being, and it still goes high to low sometimes. But when we develop that sense of well-being, that hey, I'm okay in this world, you know, I'm just gonna be all right.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, let me give a shout out to two people who are new to the group, and they,
Yeah,
uh,
please.
Jennifer Marie Bowles says, "Hi, I am Jennifer, and I'm an alcoholic. This is the first time I've watched this. I need help, but keep putting it off. I'm
Guys,
glad.
please, right now.
Yeah, says I'm glad I'm tuned in tonight. Also, James Evans says same here. He's so a lot of new people. It's Friday night. I shared it on my personal page, which I think got some more people. But that's I really, I'm 106 days in, and sometimes last night I felt like I felt like the show was like I felt like the show took me to church last night. I was so Carl, and I told you this on the phone earlier, and folks at home, I can't tell you how dark I was yesterday. I'm not saying I wasn't suicidal, but I was the closest I had ever been to like thinking I'd be better off not here. I can't imagine being this unhappy. And I called my sponsor Gary. He said, "Yes, are you wanting to drink?" I go, "Nah, I don't want to drink." He said, "Well, you have more days like this, you will. That's your, could be your alcoholic brain trying to tell you got to drink." And
Hey,
I've been happy though. But go ahead.
that's important for you to just add to a lot of people that may have heard that. Uh, that we all have had those days when it just, man, this I am just never going to be happy. May have gone through your mind. That in my opinion is alcohol talking the entire way through. That is alcohol. The brain is so structured to believe that alcohol is going to make you happy is the only thing that will allow you to escape that distress, that awful feeling that you're talking about, and it is awful. I know what it is. And that is the brain, uh, having been under a lot of stress recently. That is your brain saying, "Hey, man, this is the only thing that's going to help me." And thank God you didn't fall for it. And that meeting last night helped us all more probably than we all know.
Oh,
But I
it was a great, uh, great meeting, man.
program.
Yeah, it was. And we had, and boy, I needed it. I almost felt like I had a manic episode because I was like, oh my gosh, how can I be so depressed and down, and then all of a sudden I'm just almost giddy. I was like, what's wrong with me? Am I going through menopause or something here? Why am I? Oh, it was scary, Carl. I'm not gonna lie, but I want to get, I used, like I said, I would drink to help deal with problems, and then all of a sudden the drinking became a bigger problem than the problems I was trying to deal with, and that's wow, that's That's Larry Stott says, "Keep me in your prayers, please." Okay, Larry, let's reach out to our private group here, man. People love helping.
Yeah,
Oh,
please jump on the private group. We're trying to get more people to discuss, and thank goodness Natalie and a few others are make post every day.
Bev, yeah, good to see Bev back. Uh,
Yeah,
I really want
thank
to.
you.
I really want to talk about the promises. We had a couple emergencies that came in tonight. Let's see. Bob Banks says again, "You're absolutely right." That said, they most definitely have worked for literally millions of people across every country in the world for almost 100 years. Our disease is one that can make us feel different from everyone else. So what I have found is that giving it a go with an open mind and earnestly diving into the program cannot hurt. And if you fail, get back up and go at it again. Yeah, the program is yeah, like I said, I tried to get into it, Carl, for years, and I hated it. I hated it, but now I'm loving it, and it's. I think I finally found the right between sober talk and my Zoom AA meeting. I'm in a good place. Yesterday, not so much, but today, God, I feel like I'm just borderline crazy. I
La-
just.
Last, last, last word. I am so glad to hear you called the sponsor, man, because that, I hate picking up that dead gum phone every day, but you called to call another human being that is your experience, and most likely knows how you feel. There's no better medication than that. There's really not. And then all of a sudden hey, maybe I'll start feeling a little better, and maybe you didn't immediately, but the thought was put into your brain, and anyway, that's just important.
Yeah,
As
well,
much as I calling somebody, I did. So
wow. Well, Carl, thanks for. Sorry, we had to push our segment back. We'll pick up again.
no,
Uh,
let's please call these guys,
yeah, I
Tom.
want to reach out to a few of them. This Randy, he says, "I'm sorry, but I don't want to spend the rest of my life in AA meetings. Well, if you don't quit drinking, Randy, you're not going to have much of a life left. I'm afraid you just sound. This is the guy we spoke to. I was calling Rehab Randy. I mean, you don't have to go to AA, but you got to do something, and you got to get when
Yeah,
you sober.
sometimes we alcoholics are the most unstructured people in the world, and if I hate to admit that, but we do need some form of structure.
Yes,
And if we
yes,
don't have we're it's just not going to work. It just really isn't. You
man.
can see all death certificates from those who did not create a structured system for their life. I mean, it doesn't mean we're not free, but it does mean that we have to structure ourselves, and we have to be willing to ask for help, and actually ask for help. So
Sometimes you
I'll
got to
quit.
ask for I that structure thing. That's why. And my whole I could be running late to come to my office. I could do this or do that or whatever. But man, as long as I know, I was having dinner tonight with the kids. I'm like, hey, oh, I gotta go. I got sober talk at 8 o'clock. I gotta go line up my guests. I gotta do this. I gotta make sure everybody's on, all the gears on, and I love the structure. And I wish I want to start applying the structure of doing the show to my daily life. I want to have structure of going to the gym, structure of doing more. I create videos for a living, and with this whole pandemic going on, I haven't done much of any kind of videos except for sober talk. But boy, yeah, when you said alcoholics are the most unstructured, and then when we get a manic episode and we want to go get something done, I'll do more by 9 a.m. than the Marines will do all year. I mean, I get obsessed,
So
and that's a lot of
now,
my. Go ahead.
no, it's so funny how we all are like that. I mean, we can get done more in 1 hour than most people can in four
Oh,
when we're on.
when I'm on, dude, just I'll outwork anybody. That's I'm like, how are you? You're very lucky, and it's funny. The harder I work, the luckier I get. How about that? Is that funny how that works? And I do. I work my ass off. I have a lot of, I have a lot of admiration for people who work their asses off, but when I get that piece of crap syndrome going, no one could be a bigger piece of crap than me. Oh my gosh, my avoidance behavior. There's a comic friend of mine, Jim Gaffigan. He goes, man. He said, all I gotta do today is go to the post office. I got to do one thing. I just gotta go to the post office. And then around 4 o'clock, I'm like, huh, I wonder how late the post office is open. Didn't even get that done. And that's me, and that's why I didn't know that was a trait of an alcoholic or someone like us. That's
And
interesting.
and last thing, not sure enough, everybody every day go outside, get out, stand next, go hug a dead gum tree. Get outside, change what you're doing when the thoughts start going south. Get outside, get out of the office, get out in front, get out of the screen in your face. Go outside, change it up at minimal. So anyway, please, I want to hear from these other folks that are hurting right now.
Well, I'm gonna try to see here. All right, I'll talk to you soon, and let me see if I can reach out to a couple. And thanks so much, brother.
You're welcome. See you. Good night.
All right, see you. Good night, buddy. So that was Carl. We had talked about talking about the promises tonight, and ask Randy if he's got kids. Randy does have kids, and the kids have his phone blocked. This is Regina K. Riddle McDaniel. Ask Randy if he has kids. My dad was an alcoholic for the majority of his life, and it really did affect us three kids. I'll be praying for Randy. Yeah, Randy said it's sad. He said these kids have him blocked on this phone call, but that's why we want Randy to get some kind of help. Randy, we're not saying you got to do uh, AA. I mean, geez, there's a lot of people here, have been sober for 20 years who've done other things. Nothing's worked for me. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing AA. I'm doing the steps, but that's me, and that happened to be Carl. Uh, but the one thing you do have to detox, and you need to medically detox. If you quit cold turkey, you'll be a dead turkey. I read that someone put up earlier. That's true. You can die from detoxing from alcohol. So when detoxing, alcohol and benzos are definitely two things uh, that you can die from. And let's see, is there anyone that needs? I thought someone was needing to talk. Let me see if I got any emails from anyone. Otherwise, we went over, and we went way over, guys. But thanks so much for hanging out with me on a Friday night. I'm coming to you live here from Louisville, Kentucky, here at the Comedy Compound. My office is off of Hurstbourne Lane, and I started Sober Talk as a fluke. 45 shows ago. Today is episode 45, and we do it every night at 8 o'clock during the week. I take the weekends off, and sometimes I'll do a morning show if it's a travel day and I'll be if I'll be on a plane or something at 8. Um, but if you want to listen to any back shows, if you go to sobertalklive.com, it's up on the screen there. You can email us. You can go listen to our podcast while you're driving or whatever. Um, but I really, really, I'm glad you're here, and I love all you guys, and it's holding me accountable. And we had a couple new people. I really want to talk. Would love to talk with. There was two people. James Evans. So one of my good friends committed suicide because of alcoholism. Yeah, wow. I'd love to get James Evans on the phone. And there was a new girl that came in. What was her name? She was here. And Greg Barnhill. There's a song. I'm a songwriter, and there's a songwriter named Greg Barnhill who wrote "That Boy's Just a Walk Away Joe" for Trisha Yearwood. I don't think it's the same Greg Barnhill, uh, but could be. And let's see, but he's on the show tonight. And anywho, so guys, reach out to Randy Leach, Bob Banks. First time I see him, Bob's name. He's obviously knows his stuff. He's someone that should Bob, if you don't mind, hop into our private group, and because you sound like someone people could ask questions to as well. Jennifer Marie Bowes. Jennifer, love to have you on the show. She said she needs help. She keeps putting it off. I get it. I get it. So, all right, guys, I love you. Thanks for watching. Have a good weekend and happy Halloween and stay safe out there and all that good stuff. Bye.
You ready? You ready? 3.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Hey, if you want to be on the show, shoot us an email. sobertalklive@gmail.com. That is sobertalklive@gmail.com.